Hi, Jason here from DTB Traders. We are looking at the DTB Modena Wick Trader strategy in action. There's been a little bit of extra updates done to the documentation for the strategy. So we really wanted to make sure that every single thing inside the strategy was fully understood so that you can make use of the strategy effectively. So we'll have a quick look at the documentation that comes with the strategy. So in the folder for the documentation, in the folder for the strategy, you're going to notice there is a folder there called DTB Modena Wick Trader Strategy. So I'll just bring that up on my screen over here. Let me just find it. Okay, and the strategy itself. All right. I shall bring up the document for the indicator because the indicator really gives details of how the indicator or how the strategy works. So this is the documentation. As you can see, I updated it today. And that is the signal chart. So as you know, the Modena Wick Trader strategy has a built-in signal chart. So this document explains all the functioning of that signal chart. And it details, as you can see, I've also updated the coloring of the bars. So based on the coloring of the bars is how the strategy will actually trade. So we'll take that out the way and we'll look at what the strategy has been doing so far today. So I activated the strategy just before at about 7:48, 7:50, and the time now is 9:50. So about 2 hours of trading. And the strategy has entered a few positions. So if I go to the strategy performance in real time, that's going to bring up the trades that the strategy has entered. And if we go to the specific trades, we'll be able to look at the entry times. And that's basically then there. So from 7:46 up until 9:39, almost 9:46. So it's exactly basically 2 hours of trading on the NQ. So what the strategy does, I'm trading it on a 5-minute chart. So I'm entering up to 10 entries, although 10 entries haven't entered yet. I think the most that has entered has been 5. So I can even adjust the slider to 5. So when I adjust the slider, it actually updates the strategy settings to only take a maximum of so many entries. So the strategy now will not enter more than 5 positions. I've got a very low retracement on the strategy, and that's because I wanted to capture the movement of the price as soon as the strategy is in the zone to enter positions. So as you can see right now, the next 3 positions are close to their targets. So what I've done over here is I've combined the signal chart and the trading chart into one chart. So if I go into the data series, you're going to notice there that I've got my 5-minute chart, which is what I'm trading the strategy on. But then I've also got the signal chart, the 10-10 analytical bars signal chart on the same panel. So if you look at the panel on the bottom of the chart here, it's panel 1. And the 5-minute is also on panel 1. So that means there's 2 data series that are taking up in one specific chart. So you'll notice that the 5-minute bars, so if I highlight the 5-minute bars, it'll be that bar over there. It will be, this bar over here. So those are the 5-minute bars. And between those 5-minute bars is the 10-10 tick data series. So the good thing about this is you're getting the 5-minute bar moving, but between the 5 minutes, you're seeing all the price action that is actually happening between those 5 minutes. So obviously, if you're watching the 5-minute bar, it's going up and down, but having a 10 tick or having a tick bar between those values will show you what the price is doing within those 5 minutes. So I've never actually seen anybody even portray a chart like this before, but that is what we've done. You can go into the settings and remove some of the markers and text. So if you notice the text and marker on the data series for the 5 minutes will show the entries. And the data on the 10-10 tick bars will only show markers. So if you look at the 10-10 tick bar, you'll see little markers on there, and those are where the trades have entered. So when the bars are orchid, the color orchid, the strategy will sell, and when the bars are green, the strategy will buy, but also dependent on where the price is on that 5 minute bar. So like there, the price is in the range that the strategy works in. So it has now entered another sell position. And all those positions are spaced out too. So you'll notice that we've got a space out trades. So that space out is going to space out the entries so that they don't happen within a certain distance of each other. All right, so I'll look. So if you had to bring up a separate chart, so if I bring up a chart like this, that'll just show you the signal chart. Let's change that to here. So we'll see what that looks like. So this is a 10-10. I'm just going to update the data series on this. And this will be for the analytical bars, 10-10. Okay. And you'll notice that the settings for the strategy, if you notice on the strategy, it is 11, 6, 2, minus 6, minus 11. So we can actually update the signal chart to the same values. So I'll go into the indicator settings. And over here, we can actually adjust those settings. So the strategy is going to trade between value 2 and value 6, and between minus 2 and minus 6. So that's the range of where the strategy is trading. And the strategy will exit any open positions when the price goes to 11. So we'll go to scroll to the bottom and we'll change that to 11 and 11. Apply and OK. So if we were just loading up a signal chart, that is exactly what the signal chart looks like in the strategy. The only thing we've done now is we've combined the trading chart with the signal chart. So instead of having two charts up on your screen, you're able to have the one chart combining both of those values. So just a way of, having less charts open. So what you normally would do is you'll be looking at the signal chart. You'll be seeing the positioning of the bars, the coloring of the bars, and you'll know that when the bars are green, the strategy will be buying. When the bars are the orchid color, they'll be selling. So that is how the strategy is programmed in the settings. But what we've just done uniquely here is combining those two into one chart. So that is all explained. This isn't explained in the documentation, the combining of the charts, but them individually is. So that is something you can have a look at. And you'll notice too, when the bars go to a cyan color, they won't be entering any positions. So we're trying to identify chop in the market. So we're trying to identify a range of price, a range of where the market is in, and we're only trying to trade in that range. So it's basically called chop, and that is what we're focusing on with this strategy and how we can set up that signal chart. So we know that, when the price is just, floating around a certain zone, the strategy is going to enter positions within that zone. And as soon as it exits that zone, it won't enter any more positions. So you're really able to fine tune where the strategy itself is entering positions. And not only on the signal chart, but also on the strategy settings too. So By adjusting the minimum distance and the maximum distance on these sliders, we're able to choose how far up the 5-minute candle, in this example, how high up the candle or how low on the candle we want to trade. So we're really selecting a very specific zone to trade in. And then we're having our stop just above that zone. So you see I've got a maximum distance of 120, and then my stop will be 160, which is just above, where that zone is. Good. So I hope you guys can, make use of this setup. If you're in the Discord channel, you'll see the template that I shared for this very specific setup. I'm going to actually create a template and with the DTB TT00 at the end so that everybody can access the same template. So when you load up your chart, it'll look exactly the same. It is a bit more for the advanced users because you are looking at a lot more on the chart. Of course, if you want to clean up the chart, you can also go and hide the text on the chart. So you're only seeing markers as an example. And in that way, you can actually see what price is doing. You can hide, just keep it as clear as possible. You only really need the signal chart data series on here. And you also don't need all the settings for the shadow trading divergence indicator. So there's a few settings inside the indicator that I've actually just made transparent because we don't really need to see the divergences. So what I've basically done is gone into the divergence settings, made those transparent. I've also made the dots and the arrows like very small. You can also change that to transparent. That also helps. So just to show you, give you a very clear picture of where the strategy is going to trade, and that is identified by the coloring of the bars. So immediately by looking at this that the signal chart bars are orchid, and the 5-minute bar is currently at 0 ticks. So it's at where it opened. So now it's at -4. So you're going to have the marker there, which is called the tick distance marker. And that specific indicator, the tick distance marker is linked to the 5-minute chart. So what that does is it tells you how many ticks the price has moved since the opening of that candle. So you can immediately tell, is the price in buyer's territory or seller's territory according to the opening of the candle. So when the price is below the open, it's obviously not going to do any sell. It'll only do sell positions when the price is above, and will only do buy long positions when the price is below. So just a few little things to look at, when you are when you have this set up on your chart, looking at the coloring of the bars, looking at where the 5-minute bar is, looking at where the signal chart data series is, and that'll give you a good indication of what the price is doing and also where the strategy will be entering positions. Great. So definitely review the documentation. I've produced some documentation for the strategy as well as the signal chart. So, have a good look through those. They're very detailed, very informative. And the idea is to give you guys the absolute best opportunity to trade the strategy by being able to identify and understand all of the aspects of the settings of the indicator and the strategy. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I look forward to seeing your results ongoing. Hey guys, have a good one and chat to you later. Cheers.